Hi guys, welcome to a GAB sesh. Look what's going on here. I know, if you haven't caught it yet, I think it was just yesterday this was uploaded. This here is a wig chat of my precious Ignite in Palm Springs Blonde. So I tried on for the very first time during my wig chat. I'm all smiles because I love this color. It's like an old friend because this is my all-time favorite wig. It's easy to wear, it's the funnest to style, it lasts forever. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I just finished recording it, so it's just all fresh in my head. The rooting in this color, the lace front, I mean, it's Jon Renau, but the lace front's gorgeous. Check out that wig chat if you haven't already. I will put the link to it down below if you want to. Plus, it'll probably pop up at the end of this video as, you know, little suggestion videos that they put, I put at the end of my video. Anyway, guys, I want to talk to you about so many things. I think this is going to probably be a fairly long GAB sesh, so I hope you're in it for the long haul. I think while this is still kind of fresh in my head, and I've been really excited to talk to you guys about it, it's just been within the last week or so. For some reason, it's so odd. But my wig excitement and obsession and just everything wig related has been reignited inside of me. I don't know why. The timing isn't right. It's going to be spring and summer soon, and I'll want to wear my toppers, I'm sure, for the most part, especially when in those really hot days. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what it was that just kind of re-sparked my love of wigs and me wanting to start wearing wigs again, because I'm telling you, when I got on the topper, bandwagon there, and I was on a topper honeymoon because I was very obsessed. I still love toppers, don't get me wrong. Absolutely. But I have not paid attention to the wig world at all. I haven't watched any wig reviews. I'm not sure what new styles are out there and what was released. I'm telling you, I kind of tapped out altogether. I very seldom, if I wore a wig, it was maybe once or twice, and I recorded a video with my old Ignite, I think once, but I have packed them away and literally I have been just wearing toppers. So that was low-key. So I am and was aware of Jon Renau's California Blonde release, and always very excited about trying maybe a couple of those colors. But I was thinking, well, dang it, because with toppers I would have to dye my hair to make that one work, and really shaded praline is too light for my bio hair, but I don't care and I make it work. Maybe that's what kind of made me want to wear wigs again, because it doesn't matter what color your bio hair is. If you want to wear that color, you can. So I don't remember, but within the last week or so, I have been caught in the YouTube vortex of wig reviews. I have watched a couple new faces that are doing wig reviews out there, and that's exciting to know that there are more and more women doing wig reviews on YouTube. Love that. That's just one more resource we can use, And so there's been a couple of them that I am constantly watching, and I don't remember the name of their channels, but I will put them down in the description box. There's one gal that I have to be cognizant of. The reason I watch her videos, because she has a very thin face, so sometimes I will tune in to people because they have a similar face shape as mine, and I'll be like, okay, that's probably a little more realistic as to how that wig will look on me. For this gal, because she's very thin, and what I'm saying is she does not have the same face shape or body type that I do, so I don't pay attention to that so much. I'm sorry. I love though how she usually always takes the wigs outside in the sun, and you get to see the colors in the outside light. Anyway, she usually always takes them outside in the natural light. You can see the colors outside, and I think she's very thorough, and she tells you the details and gets right to it, completely opposite of me, you know. And I really enjoy her wig reviews, and I think she does a great job. But I love the detail that she gives on, you know, letting you see the color in different light, and I enjoy that. Very helpful. Of course, Taz, oh, she's dangerous. She's dangerous. She will talk you into a wig. She doesn't do it on purpose. But I've been watching a ton of Taz's wig closet, re-watching older videos, and because I feel like I'm just kind of I don't know, I'm re-submersing myself into the whole wig thing, and it's been so long, I feel like. So I'm re-watching videos that I know I've already watched, and kind of seeing colors again and paying attention to that and all of that. So in watching these videos, I've noticed that there are some styles that I didn't know were out there, and so I would go then onto wig actual sites like Name Brand Wigs or wigs.com or Wigs by Patty's Pearls, and have been looking at some of the newer styles that maybe were released last year. That's how behind I am. And then there were some that were just released toward the end of the year, and there are even some that aren't going to be released until, like I say, around March, because I do have another one coming, but it's not going to be out until March. That's not that far away. I think they said beginning to mid-March. And then if you pre-ordered, you'll go on a waiting, like a list, you know, and it's in a priority. So goodness knows, they may be on back order for a while. So I have been, yeah, just really excited about it again, almost like I did around the first round. Anyway, I wanted to share with you guys that I have the bug again. Okay, so I'm looking over here because I recently, along those lines, purchased some new makeup. And I did a video that's already uploaded. It uploaded on today's Sunday that you're seeing this, and it uploaded on Thursday. And I went ahead and used some of the new stuff. So check that video out. It's a full face makeup video, and I got, for instance, a new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It's the Soft Glam. And so I created a look with that. So anywho, there were a couple things that I absolutely did not like at all. So I wanted to share that with you guys in this GAB sesh. So, you know how I love my VT Cosmetics Compact Cream Sheer Coverage Foundation here. Absolutely adore this stuff. Very sheer, but it mutes things out. It gives a better than skin glow look than regular skin. You know, even if you have really pretty skin, it just brings it up a whole nother notch. And I love it. Well, they have several different ones, and it's really hard trying to figure out what the true difference is, because this is a Korean company. So, you know, it's even on Amazon, it's hard to sort of figure things out. But they have one that's called Berry Collagen Packed. And from what I gather, and also from what Hannah gathered, my daughter, who's the original one who told me about this stuff, which she told me about this one, is that this one is geared supposedly more to the mature aging, kind of anti-wrinkle thing. And although it still says that it's still hydrating, because the other one is quite hydrating, and it still says it is very hydrating. But it has collagen in there. So let me tell you something about this. Just a little FYI. Okay, so collagen, when you are putting collagen on your skin topically, and it says there's collagen in there. Okay, depending on, I mean, this is very vague, but depending on, you know, kind of what the formulation is and all that, it can't, like for instance, I have a sheet mask that I use in facials, and I also sell it as well. It's very firming. It's a collagen sheet mask, and it is firming. It kind of gives you that firming, you know, right away. But collagen, I would choose to use collagen on someone who needed more suppleness, who needed moisturization, because collagen is very moisturizing. And there's a difference between that and hydrating. Hydration is something that would be more humectant drawing, like hydration is more like working with humectants like honey or hyaluronic acid, cucumber, glycerin. These are all very hydrating ingredients. They're humectants. They draw in moisture from the environment anywhere they can get it and plump up the cells with moisture and whatnot. Collagen is more moisturizing. It's more, it gives you suppleness. And I love that about collagen. But putting collagen on your skin topically with a cream or something like that is not going to make your skin make collagen within the skin. That is a fallacy, and that does just that's not what it does. So it's not going to stimulate fibroblasts that will, you know, create new collagen or whatnot, and it's not going to create that down in a cellular level within the skin. So when you think, if something says it's collagen, you know, it has collagen in it, it is going to do great things, but it's not going to do that. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, so I wanted to try this. First of all, this packaging is gorgeous. I love the color, the gold. What? I love it. And this has the little red little ribbon, the little details. Anyway, so here's what, hold on, let me do this. Here, okay, Jill, you can do this. Here's what this one looks like. It has the swirl there and there. It has much more swirliness going on than the other one. I'm assuming that's the hydrating creaminess, collagen in there and whatnot. However, guys, I do not like this one at all. While it feels wonderfully moisturizing on the skin, it gives a very white hue. It doesn't mute out skin tone. It didn't help with ruddiness, that red, kind of little bit of redness I get here and there. It didn't do that wonderful milky thing that this one did. So unfortunately, this one is a no-go. Yeah, I'm so disappointed. I knew the minute I put it on, and when I put it on all over my face, honestly, it was ridiculous, the amount of, like, I love the kind of glow that this one gives you. This one, it was like almost a greasy, it was not good. So you guys, for at least on my end, my point of view, I should say, I really don't recommend this collagen packed one. I got it in the same number 21, which is the same one I got for this, but it's a no-go. I wanted to tell you that. Frickin' hate that. Okay, so usually when I shop Ulta.com, because I very seldom go in store, I don't know, I just very seldom do. I don't know why. I have gotten any more these days where I don't enjoy shopping outside anymore. I don't know. But anyway, especially Alton, and I tell you why, I think I know why, is because it's so overwhelming. I have to have a list, specific things that I need to get when I go there, or I get completely off track and I'm looking at things I don't even need and I don't remember what it was I, you know, went in there for. It's like this really weird thing that happens when you walk through those doors. So I would much rather really make a list and just get it online and call it good and not even be tempted and all of that. So very seldom will I go in store. Anyway, But I still managed to get off track when I was browsing online, because I did get things that were on my list, but then this one popped up, and it is it's a concealer, and it's called Hey Honey Trick and Treat Active Propolis Cream Concealer, and it has with treatment benefits for signs of aging and dark circles. So I went ahead and purchased this. Now this was not inexpensive, you guys. I want to say this was $32, $36. So this was a pretty major little, you know, impulsive buy. But what made me get this one was the reviews. The reviews were glowing. Everybody seemed to love it. And so I thought, well, it's supposed to be hydrating. Honey is hydrating. Locate. You know, honey is hydrating. It's naturally hydrating. So that's good. And it's supposed to be, it's supposed to feel great on the eye tissue, on the skin. So I'm looking now at the ingredients. There is dimethicone in here, which is, as we know, is a silicone. Waiting to see if I can see honey in here. I'm getting down on the list. There's no honey in here. Let me look again. There's talc. Oh boy. Dimethicone. Dimethicone, why is it in here twice? Huh. Iron oxide. Hydroxyproline. Sea salt. Iron oxide. Perfume fragrance. Squalene. Squalene. That's something good. So this was me actually creating a product in my head that was nothing like this one. So yeah, you know, silly me, this was my stupidity really. I was thinking, hey honey, meant there was honey in it. No, there is not honey in it. Anyhow, cripes. You know, you never know with the reviews on Ulta.com how old the people are, because if you're young, you can use almost anything under your eye tissue and be fine with it. But it seemed like this product was geared more to the mature skin types. That's the way they market it anyway. Anyway, here's what it looks like out of the package, this little tube here. The color, believe it or not, worked out great. I want to say this was the lightest one, even though it's light to medium. It was the lightest one, so I was a little afraid of that, but it works fine, which is, you know, I'm very fair, so it worked, it actually worked just fine. It feels lovely under the skin, almost feels almost like you're using a moisturizer more than anything. And initially you're like, oh yeah, this is nice. But let me tell you, by the time I think it absorbs and by the time you're getting ready to put on the rest of your makeup, it starts settling right into the crepiness lines. It starts disappearing almost. And so you're like, well, maybe it's buildable. So I put some on and I went ahead and see if maybe it was buildable, because I noticed right off the get-go, it wasn't covering kind of the purpling and the darkness that I have right in here. Because let me tell you, my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Serum Concealer does a really good job with that, and I don't have to use a corrector. With this one, I knew right away I would have to use a corrector. It wasn't doing the job. But the problem is if you think you're doing a buildable and you start blending it out, because it feels lovely and all that silicone in there, makes that happen. So yeah, it just, it sort of thins out the pigment and you're not getting anywhere, but basically it's depositing more and more into the lines and the fine lines and the crepiness and the wrinkles. So this was a huge no-go. I mean, by the time I was done with my makeup, I would go like this and it was like settled in all the wrong places. I mean, some of it's going to, no matter what product you're using, you know, you get to a certain age and you can't expect nothing to settle in your fine lines and wrinkles. But my Bare Minerals Serum Concealer does a really wonderful job of really not doing that so much. So I had to go over it to finish off my makeup with my Bare Skin Serum Concealer. And so this was a huge flop for me. So the price of the product certainly does not reflect what your expectations are, that's for sure. And I have reasonable expectations with many, many things, I think. So I really think I'm returning this because, you know, with tax, with shipping, it was probably well over $40. So this was not like an $8.95 purchase. I really do need to return this. We got snow. Like we usually get a snowfall once a year here. It's generally where we live. It's not a big, huge deal. Sometimes we'll get a little more than we think. But, you know, once in a blue moon, we'll get like a snowstorm. Well, let me tell you, this was Snowmageddon. Like it broke records from many, 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 many years ago. We have not had snow like this in forever. We got, in our little neck of the woods, over 20 inches in a couple days' time. We lost our power. It got down to the 40s in my house because we don't have alternative heat. I do have a gas stove, you know, that I can cook on, my actual stove in my kitchen, so I can manually light the burners and cook. But the thing is, when it gets so cold like that, I don't want to get up and move around because it's freaking freezing. So me and the dogs stayed in our bed, and I had blankets and blankets and blankets, and I have this big, huge, gigantic robe that has a hood, and I had my hood on, but I had a beanie and I had that on. We were under the covers. I had blankets, 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 and that was the only way I survived that. So that was out for like 2 days. The third day, like full days, freezing, miserable, body hurts, my stomach hurt, everything hurt. And then the next day, I was actually, it was toward almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This was like, I think this was into the third day, I think. And so I'm like, had it. My dogs were, Loki's young, he was fine, but Cooper, he's an old fart, and he was pretty miserable. I was miserable. My son worked the whole time, so they had power. You know, he worked and he at least got to get warm, and then he would come home and get in his bed and get all warm and go to sleep and everything. So he didn't really get the experience that I did, but I finally am like, I'm going to call around, because the thing is that there was another storm coming in. So half the snow fell already. And so I was calling around to hotels, and many of them didn't take dogs because I was going to somehow get my dogs there too. Anyway, I found one, and long story short, I was getting things, I was running around the house like crazy. It was freezing, and I was running around the house getting things ready, thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get the dogs over there. And so I had the suitcase and stuff, and I put stuff by the door, and then I was just getting ready to go out into the garage to see if I can find like a crate that I can stick my dogs safely in to get them where they needed to go. And then I was panicking because, man, it was snowing like crazy, and I thought, I have a great car for that, but I do not like driving in that kind of weather. I don't have the experience, and my anxiety now that I'm older is way worse than it was when I was younger, when I wouldn't have probably cared. So anyway, I was getting a little nervous because it was starting to really come down again. And I was getting ready to go out in the garage, and my fire alarm started beeping, and I'm like, gosh darn it, what's going on? And then the power came on. I'm like, oh, hallelujah. I was like, yeah. So I was a little bit like, you know how it'll come on and tease you and then come off. So anyway, it came on, and it stayed on that night and most of the day. But man, the snow was coming down like you wouldn't believe. Like, I want to say it probably put another 10, 11 inches down. on top of the 10 and 11 inches that we already had. So I thought, oh, and my husband, I was talking to him on the phone because he had to stay over at my daughter's house because he wouldn't have been able to get to work. So he got over there before the storm hit and stayed there. So we weren't, together. So anyway, sure enough, halfway around, almost 24 hours later, it was close to 3 when it came on. It was close to 3 the next day when it went back off again. So this time though, I made sure, because we have a gas fireplace and it wasn't on when the electricity went out the first time. But it's got to be on. The fan will go off when the lights go out, but the propane will continue to go. So this time our fireplace was on. So when the lights went out, the fan went off, the blower of the fireplace went off, but it stayed on. And I'm like, hallelujah. So I told Shane, we are going to put a big heavy blanket up over here and close in that whole entryway that goes up to the top story. We're keeping the heat in this room. So we tacked up a big, huge blanket. It's a pretty big opening there that went all the way to the ground. And then I found something else. I had some panels of curtains that were insulated curtains. And so we tacked those up to the other opening that goes in the other wall to the dining room. And it got so freaking hot in that room. We had to go into the other room where it was colder. But it was good. It was good to know that if the temperature ever got down that low in the house again, we had a sanctuary. We could sleep in there with sleeping bags if we had to. So that gave me peace of mind. And the other thing is that we got smart and we filled up a bathtub with water so we could flush our toilets, because we're on a well, and our toilets, once that hot water, they don't flush, so that's not good. But you can, fill up the tank with, so we filled up a bathtub, and so we had that going. We were in a much better place with the electricity being off this time. So anyway, that was good. And the electricity came on, the electricity came on late in the evening. Like, I want to say it was around 11 o'clock at night, and it came back on. But we left that fireplace on because I was so afraid it was going to go off again. So we were much more prepared. The house only got down to like 63 degrees that time because it was a little warmer outside. When the power went off the first time, it was getting down to like 16 degrees at night. So man, my house, it didn't take long, and it was, after the second day, it just kept getting colder and colder. And and I had just gotten over the flu. Thank goodness neither one of us, thank goodness my son and I weren't sick with the flu when that happened. That would have been beyond miserable. So I am thankful. I am thankful that I wasn't sick and my son wasn't sick when all of that happened. So, but I had just gotten over the flu. I wasn't completely over it when this happened, and my gosh, hello 2019. And anyway, this last weekend, the very last weekend, we were out of town. We went to my daughter Jessanne, my daughter Hannah, and their cousin Chelsea. We had a Galentine's weekend in Portland, and Jessanne gave us like all these different options for Airbnb, and we all put our 2 cents in. So we all pitched in and we rented one and we got an Airbnb for Saturday night and Sunday night and came home Monday. But the reason why we ended up getting all together, because their cousin Chelsea lives in LA, she had to fly in, is that the whole purpose was, yes, to have a fun Galentine's weekend, because it was the weekend following Valentine's Day. But it was so my daughter Jessanne could look at and try on wedding dresses, because she's getting married this year in September. So it was the very first time she was trying on dresses, and she had booked some appointments. So it was so fun. She did end up finding the dress of her dreams the very last day, the very last place we went. And so that was exciting because Chelsea was there for that. And we had a blast. We had so much fun. It was relaxing. And it was so fun. It makes us, like Hannah said, we need to do this like every 3 months. All of us need to go somewhere and do this because it was so fun. So that's what we were doing this last weekend, and it was fun, and watching Jessanne, she's our firstborn. try on these dresses. She just looked beautiful, and she's going to be amazingly beautiful on her big day. And then the other thing we did too is, because her venue is also just in Portland as well, in a tree farm, so we got to go drive out and take a look at the venue that her and her fiance chose. So that was cool, and what a beautiful place that was. So it gets us all really excited for the big day, and we're got a lot of details to work out still, but she's got her venue, now she's got her dress, and she's picked out, she knows the photographer she wants. She's going to use the same photographer Hannah had, because he was, oh my Lord, he was amazing. So he's going to be Jess Ann's photographer too. So that's what we did this last weekend. I hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day. My husband wasn't home because, again, Valentine's Day and all of that, we still have a lot of snow, but so he wasn't here for Valentine's Day, but he did manage to surprise me, and he sent me flowers to my door, and so that was very, very sweet. And I wasn't really expecting that, so that was really cool. I hope you guys had a nice Valentine's Day. This was awesome. Between getting my surprise flowers and spending time with my girls, that was awesome. Anywho, I'm going to have to wrap this up, you guys. I have been talking forever. My goodness, for over an hour, and I have to get this down to under 30 minutes. That's going to be a lot of editing. So I better get to it if I want this to go up on Sunday for you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. I love reading your comments down below. It's what I do on Sundays. I curl up and I start reading all the comments that start coming in. So do that. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this color. It is gorgeous. Very light. It is very light, but I love it. Anyway, check out the wig chat I did on this. Going to be seeing some more wig chats coming up too. Okay, guys, have a lovely week ahead, and I'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.